Welcome to the coaching game. I'm Laurie Lawson, and I have another Laurie on tonight, and I'm so excited because I have known, yeah, hey, I have known about this lady and then got to actually experience her, Laurie Gregg. And Laurie Gregg is a psychic medium, and we are going to talk about what is she doing on the coaching game, besides honoring my request a million times and finally doing it. But so, Laurie, welcome to the coaching game.
Thank you, Laurie. And I have to toss in the book that we're going to talk about. You did the very first edit, the very first review of the book. You brought me to tears, and that will always, always stick with me.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. All right, let's share. We've got Playing
Yes.
Blackjack with God. And I found this, I know I didn't find it. It was given to me at the finish line when it was done. And Laurie is the co-author. And her the other author is Kellie DeRuyter, who is a life coach. So it's a lovely combination that we're going to find out what happened. So Laurie, how did this all come about?
Well, it was fine. Timing is everything.
Mhm.
So Kelly and I had met years earlier, and she was coming to visit me in Manhattan. I mean, that's where I was living at the time. And she came in, and I've always been a psychic, and we were talking about why do these horrible things happen to people. But the exact day she came in was the morning I found out my family was missing because Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Rita had just hit Southwest Louisiana, and my family was just gone. So I was just mad as smoke. I was so mad. I really feel bad for Kelly because she came to have a fun trip. And when she came in, I could barely talk. I was so angry. And she's like, well, let's call in the angels and get some answers because that's what I do. And we called in the angels, and they said, that's a question for God. And we were like, yeah, sure, sure. But they directed me to calling God, and Kelly was right there with me the whole way. And the adventure started right there. But it wasn't like praying, like, oh, dear God, why is this, that. We were both mad as could be. And we were screaming and yelling about why are these horrible things happening? And then they were happening to everybody, but they were happening to me directly that exact day. So
That is
that was
so
the beginning.
refreshing. I have to tell you, because it's like everybody's like, okay, I'm going to pray and I'm going to ask for this, and I'll be really respectful. And it's like, I have a tendency to do a little cursing out every now and then. It's like only when I feel like he deserves it. But
Exactly.
it's like I feel like that I have that kind of relationship also with God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, you know. And it's I think that's very human, and I think it's very refreshing. And out of it came a marvelous book. So what'd y'all say? Well, okay, so did you get an answer, or how did this all work out?
We definitely got an answer. And just like you're saying, God came in and said, I know what you're thinking anyway. So just speak to me normally.
Yeah.
So there was no need to go, oh, thou art, all of that. It was like, say it like it is. And so it was not a conversations with God, all lovely and pretty. It
Yeah.
was like playing blackjack. It's intense, but I tell you, it was so refreshing to me because we screamed and yelled with God because we were given the invitation. And we screamed and yelled for years and years and years with him. And he would always explain everything. The whole question was why, why, why? Why did these horrendous things happen to us as humans? So it wasn't just to me and Kelly. We had our own little details we were adding in, but it was as coming to Earth as humans. Why is the Earth game so difficult? And he
Again,
explained it out of control. So I
again,
was,
refreshing, because when you ask that, it's like, well, why are children starving, or why did this earthquake happen? And it's God's will. What does that mean? You know what? That does nothing to satisfy my curiosity, my frighteningness. The whole thing, it doesn't do anything. It's God's will. What does that
exactly.
mean? Yeah.
And the thing, it's God's will, because we all hear that line, but there's way more to it than that. And he gets extremely specific, but it's in the very beginning, because I know, the whole book came out of my mouth. Kellie wrote the whole book, but I didn't quite get it exactly when it was happening at all. I had to keep asking and keep asking. And the whole thing is the game of life.
Yes.
And he explained the game of life as, we come back lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And I know some people roll their eyes at that. And I tell you, I tell everybody, when you walk into a room and you're just attracted to the person across the hall over there, and you're like, why is that? Now, they may be really handsome. Now, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But
Whole different game, yeah.
just attracted to somebody, or we're repelled from somebody. And it's because we've been with them in a past life. And I know no one can say, no, that's never happened to me. It happens to all of us humans.
Yeah.
So we've got that attraction or repulsion. And there's reasons for that. And it's because we've had lifetimes with the humans in our lives, probably many times before, especially our family members.
Yes. Yes.
It's really, because everybody's like, I would have never chosen my mother to be my mother or my father. But we do. And we have different times before we come to earth where we really have the conversations with God about what's our lifetime going to be like? How are we going to play this game of life this time? And I know, I can tell on myself out of control. I can barely see. I took my glasses off on purpose, but usually I have big glasses on and I've had eye surgeries out of control. My brother has been through the same thing. And I know I was asking, like, why is that my brother and I have horrible vision? My brother is totally blind. And one of those lifetimes way back when we were both gladiators, we were both men, warriors, and we would get a kick out of scooping people's eyes out. And that was just like a little fun brotherly game we played. We just scoop their eyes out, and that.
I did not think sweet Laurie Gregg was going to say that.
And the thing is, I would roll my eyes at that, but I did martial arts for years. And I learned how to scoop people's eyes out this lifetime. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I can't say, oh, that's a bunch of baloney, because I experienced the kind of the giggle about it during this lifetime. I tried to go to a morgue. I was dating this neurologist and he had like a month in the morgue. I'm like, please let me go and see if it really works. I know it really works. He would not allow me in the morgue. He's like, you are too strange to do that. No, you cannot come into the morgue with me.
And I probably don't want to date you anymore either. So
well, yeah, that did cause a little problem.
little weird. But
yes,
okay,
yes.
well, I was going to ask you the name, Playing Blackjack. Does the house always win? And who's the house? Where did that come from, the name? I know it's intense. You said it's intense, but yeah.
I came up with the name because we're playing the game of life. And we had an instance with God where we were actually in a casino. And that hit me and Kellie pretty strongly, just all the messages he had to say, because he's saying similar messages throughout the book, but it's dealing with health, dealing with money, dealing with relationships. Each chapter is something a little bit different. And that in the casino hit me really strongly. And we were going to go with playing cards with God. I'm like, nah, that doesn't give me a kick or excitement. Yeah. But the thing is, we were actually playing blackjack at that casino. And so I'm like, let's call it Playing Blackjack with God. And that just made me sparkle and feel really good.
Yeah. It's an intriguing title, and no doubt about it. And I'm so curious that, I'm wondering, who was this written for? Because I know in my review I said, no matter what you believe, suspend your belief for a minute, because there is some fantastic information in this. Who cares where it came from? It's just really some magnificent life lessons. So when you thought about it, it's like who did you write this for?
We wrote it and we were instructed with God, by God, like to write it for all the humans out here who are saying, why? Because, when anything happens to us, what do we all do? We don't realize it, but we look up and go, why?
Right.
Why this? We're kind of blaming everything on God,
Mm-hmm.
not realizing that we had a hand, like playing blackjack, we had a hand in what is going on with us. We requested to, have trouble with our eyes just to see, because as souls, we think we're so rough and tough. We're the best bully on the neighborhood. And we always say, oh, I can handle this lifetime, not being able to see. I can handle this lifetime with the extremely ill child. We want to experience this. This is where we come to experience all of the earthly human games that we could play. And we're so rough and tough, and we're like, we can handle it. We know how to do everything. But the thing is, we all get hit with what we requested. And so, because I was the queen of screaming at God. and I requested all of this. And because I used to, as a soul, like we all were, like, oh, we can handle life. We know, and the whole game of life is, how are we responding to exactly what we requested? And that's everything from death, this other people's deaths. How do we respond to that? To me, having a child with something severely wrong. So many of my clients have autistic children, and that's a handful. But we request this, and everybody's like, I wouldn't request that. But I know we had an incident with God where Kellie and I were yelling the whole time. And God's like, Kellie, she has the twin boys. And back then they were younger. And he's like, can't you see your boys like saying which would hurt more, sticking each other with a pen or hitting each other with a stick? And they were in elementary school. So she's like, yeah, I could see that. And they would both hurt and see how bad it is. And then they'd try it again the next day. And we need to remember that as souls, we are curious and we want to develop ourselves to be the strongest soul, many, many lifetimes later. So we request, what's the worst thing we could go through?
Makes it sound a little crazy, but hey.
It sounds crazy. I know that. As I was getting the book coming to me, I'm like, there's no way this can't be right. And then, it was always so interesting. I'd have people calling me psychically, and I would be like, there's no way we would request, for our mother to be in bed for years on her deathbed. And it would seem like that same week, I would get a brand new client calling for the exact thing we were just talking about. And I always kept thinking like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
I'm getting it. Are they getting it? And can I help them get it? Yeah, which
Exactly.
is it's so great that they're passing it on. I am a believer too that we keep coming back until we get it right or till we've
Right.
there's just not too much more we can deal with. Um, what's the ultimate goal for that purpose to keep coming back and learning the lessons and overcoming obstacles and experiencing joy and all of the thing that's a part of life.
Exactly. And we don't always choose horrible lessons. We choose, how would I deal with millions of dollars? That's also,
Yeah. I always go, when
I
I
hope
come
they
back, how would I deal with being tall and skinny? I have no idea.
exactly,
But I'm going to give it a
exactly.
try. Yeah.
But the reason we need to come over and over and over, and I mean, this is so many lifetimes, is to nourish our soul, to strengthen our soul. And you can go and do like bodybuilding forever and ever and get the strong body. The thing is, our souls are similar. It's like we keep coming to work out to build the strong inner soul. And we've always got to remember it really does work out. Not always the way we might have, like me, like, I don't have that $1,000,000 yet. No, but that's, a game I want to play. Now, that's not necessarily in this lifetime for me, but it's always like God is helping us. Like I said, we have say so about what this game is going to pull in for us to strengthen us. So we can be, now we all have guides, and any of you who have done psychic readings with me, I call in your guides. And you've got to go through quite a few lifetimes before you choose a human who's going to be similar to you that you can direct beautifully. And if you didn't come experience it here on earth, what would you know? I'm a diabetic. How would you know how to guide me in particularly if you never were a diabetic? So it's little things like that. So you can come, and sometimes you come in as an earthling, and then you'll have a few lifetimes, and then you'll go in and be an angelic guide. And that's great fun, just to guide people. But with the guides, they choose each one. I have my guides, and we have the same name. So, Laurie, you have your particular guides. I have my particular guides. Kellie has her particular guides. But then there's the individual guides that divide us each all alone. So they're really good, always there with us. So any of you listening, when you have this knowing, you hear something, you feel something, a lot of times we don't trust that, but it is our guide helping us to know the direction. And we still ignore it.
Absolutely. No, I have a philosophy or I guess a way of living. It's like if the universe speaks to me 3 times, I must listen. Now, the first time it'll be like, the second time is like, maybe I heard that before. And the third time, all right, got it. Got to go do it. And then that's it. I get it now. All right. You know what? I'm dying to ask you. Well, let's do that. And then we'll get into what is in this magnificent book. You do individual readings, yes? And people contact you. How do they do that?
My website is Laurie, spelled the way we both spell it, Laurie, at lauriegregg.com.
And that's Greg with 3 G's, Greggg. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
And they could book an appointment there,
They
or
can book an appointment. And I tell everybody, I am the vessel that the angels come through to deliver the messages. But I tell you, people will call me and they just keep calling me. I've had some clients for like 17 years. So and you don't have to do that, because a lot of people are like, I've got a party coming up. I got to know ABC. So I'll do like a one-time quick reading and you get your answers. And the thing we got to remember, they're heavenly answers. And my own brother who lives right, I moved back to Louisiana because the angels told me. It was actually God told me to move back. And my own brother was like, what? But my own brother does ask me, he's like, I got something serious now. Like, should I fire this one? Should I hire that one? How can I make my health be better? So they can answer any question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Anything people ask about their health, about their children, the angels are perfect at telling you about other people and how to best work with them, whether it's work or a marriage, whatever.
so are you the interpreter? I'm because I'm thinking I feel that sometimes I'm spoken to. Are you the interpreter? Because I don't always get what it's saying. Like, that doesn't make any sense. In retrospect, it always makes sense. That's what's totally amazing. It's like, oh my God, I see why that happened now. But when you're in the middle of it, it's like, what the heck's going on? Yeah.
No, we can't see clearly when we're in the middle of it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the thing is, I'm the interpreter, but I'm so fortunate. I hear the words word for word for word. So the message is like A dot, B dot, and because I hear them so clearly, it's just like talking to you, Laurie. I hear them this clearly, so I can get their inflection that you got to kind of read between the lines. um, and some people call me about future husbands, future wives, future clients. I just got a brand new one. he's a big businessman. And he's like, I need you to check out this one and this one and this one. And you can kind of read between the lines because they're angels, but they still have like a personality in their voices that I pick up. And like I said, it's that they don't have judgment the way, that we humans have. So
Right.
they just spit out the facts, if you need any answer.
That's interesting because, of course, you have a filter also, which I'm sure you try to keep as clean as possible, but
Yes.
impossible to be totally clean filter. So your interpretations come through. I guess that's a constant goal of yours, though, right? To just
Well, the funny thing is when the angels say something that I question, I just flat out, I say everything out loud. I don't just sit there and think it. And I'll be like, angels, are you sure? They're always right. And I'm the one who's not quite sure.
like, what was that show? What you talking about? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, what you talking about?
Exactly.
Tell me how you and Kelly played off each other. A psychic and a life coach. I can kind of see the connection there, but you say she wrote it, you channeled it.
Right.
How else did y'all play off each other though? There must have been give and take on. I know Kelly, and I kind of know you too, so I can
Yeah.
see personalities meshing, and also like a little clash every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I feel like doing such huge conversations, I mean, with God, you need to have two human insights. If it was just me,
Mhm.
nothing against Neil Donald Walsh, nothing against him, but having two of us and Kelly was the big questioner. I mean, that's what she does for a living, ask
Right.
every human questions.
Mhm.
So she would really, because I'm channeling the whole time, so she would be the hard hitting one asking these tough questions. And, as he'd come in and give us the answers, I would go back like, are you sure? Because I was in a worse mood than her. So I think you're the one who actually called it Golden State Optimism, New York City Cynicism.
Yeah.
We love that line. And so we had, two flavors coming at him. And I say him, but he explained it in the beginning to us. He's like, I'm a spirit. He's saying, Laurie, I'm coming through you as a male voice because that's how you know me. So
Mhm.
he came so I could relate to him because that's how I've known him since I was a toddler as a
Yeah.
man. But he's not necessarily a man or a woman. He's a spirit.
Yes, so no gender necessary. Gotcha.
Right.
What are they going to
Exactly.
find in here? I mean, catastrophes and health and what? Just tell us a little bit. Why should they buy this book? Besides the fact that it is so interesting, but why else should they buy this book?
I tell you, if any of you have just said, why, and
Mhm.
it may be, why is my sister so sick? Why don't I have more money? Why do I have constant headaches? If anybody who has a why question, because I was filled with them, and so was my partner Kelly, this book is for you because it explains why. And then it doesn't just explain why, it may be like if I'm playing baseball, why can't I hit the stinking ball?
Yeah,
That's all good because you're swinging too soon.
right.
But it tells you what do you do with your problem. Because, explaining why, you know, you stink at baseball. That's why you don't hit the ball. That's why you don't catch the ball. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to think. So it gives answers to how to live a more fulfilled, happier, more content life. So, that's what it's
That
done
in
for me.
that in itself is worth the price of admission, I would think, because everybody always wants to know why, what's happening. And especially, oh
Exactly.
my God, in these times, yes, we could use a manual, a daily manual there. Um,
Exactly.
so, so where can they find it?
Okay. Hopefully we can type up the bit.ly link. It's on Amazon right now.
Okay. Mhm.
So it's on Amazon, Playing Blackjack with God. And but we have a bit.ly link. Hopefully, Laura, you can show me or do it so they can just click on it. But it's
Okay.
a very inexpensive book.
Yes, yes,
Very
especially for the
inexpensive.
value, my goodness, yes.
Yes.
Could they find it on your website?
Yes, our website is playingblackjackwithgod.com.
Oh,
Go to our website. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's easy.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah. Okay, and are there future plans for this book, or are there plans for another book? She said, hopefully.
That's
What's going
yeah.
on?
Kelly is talking to me about doing another book. We
Mm,
haven't decided. I know I because I love listening to books, so we're getting this book
yeah.
on Audible. So that's my homework for this week to
Oh
get
my
that
gosh,
figured
it's
out.
so I've become, you thought at first I said, "Oh, I'll never do Kindle. I like a paperback with put," and you get the Kindle and you can't even turn a page anymore. And now it's Audible. Oh, I don't even have to turn a page. I love it.
Right.
It's gonna be
No,
on.
I love Audible
Oh, that's
myself.
so fantastic. Yeah.
But there's another step. This is from day one. Well, after I kind of figured out what was going on, God told me He wants people to get this information. And
Mm.
He said, you must put it on screen. And I was like a movie? And it's like, no, you need to put it little bit by little bit by little bit. And that was back when we started, it was television shows. There
Mm.
was no such thing as Amazon Prime and Netflix and all of that.
Right, right.
So I want it on screen and I'm in the process of talking. I'm so fortunate. I've gotten a couple of producers interested. So I'm just like, but
Oh,
timing
yes.
is everything. So
Timing is everything. Well, we're going to contribute a little to the little screen, and we'll see if we can get you to the big screen.
yes,
But
yeah.
okay, so we've got like a minute, and we got 90 seconds left. Not even that it went so quickly. So I want to. I know I've held it up 100 times. Playing Blackjack with God by Laurie Gregg and Kellie DeRuyter, and as I think you've given the best explanation of this book that I've heard, and that's if you ask why, you might find the answer in here. And if you don't, it's even, I mean, between the two ladies here, they both have a hell of a sense of humor and a bit of cynicism and a bit of like,
Yes.
urbanness, and it's just a delightful read. So if you
Thank
don't
you.
wanna, believe, that's okay, just have a good time, and, so Kelly, Kelly Hay, and, Laura, you can find Laurie at Laurie Gregg, Gregg, .com, and
Yes.
by all means, check out playingblackjackwithgod.com. It will be a venture worth your time and energy. Laurie Gregg, thank you so much for being a part
Thank
of
you,
this.
Laurie.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, and please, we're waiting with bated breath to find out what's next. So keep it up, okay?
Okay. And we're going to keep going, keep going.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
okay.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
Thank
Kat.
you,
Thank you.
Laurie.
I want to call you Kelly.